everyone, Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am back with a Kitaholic Kits design team layout. And for this layout, I have finally got to make my dream catcher layout. So if you happen to catch my live video cross that I did in the Kitaholic Kit subscribers group, I mentioned that I really wanted to use the feathers and the exclusive feathers cut file to make a dream catcher. And that's what I've actually done. So I've used the beautiful love heart circle that is one of the exclusive cut files, and the beautiful feather cut file, and put those together to make myself a little dream catcher. I also used the 3 feathers that were part of the ephemera pack, and I'm just having a bit of a play with how I can jazz up this dream catcher. So I've pulled 2 doilies at the moment out of my stash, a black one and a white one. I included the little black one because I want to use the word captured as my heading, which is from the thicker sheet. And because it's so black and so dark, I really thought I needed to add some more dark color onto the layout. But ultimately, that little black doily doesn't make the cut. It just doesn't look quite right. So I'm still just having a bit of a play with a bit of a fiddle, and we'll wait and see how it ends up. I feel like the dream catcher needs lifting in some way, but I just can't decide the best way to do that. So as I said, I'm just having a play. And that's when I remembered about the little black wreath that was included in the ephemera pack. And I decided that's probably enough of a lift and of a bit of a dark colour to help pull that dream catcher out of the background just a little bit more. So I popped some foam on the back of my circle and then attached my 3 bits of string that I'm going to use as sort of the dangly bits where the feathers are coming from for the dream catcher. So I know I'm going to put the doily on, and I know I'm going to put the wreath on, so I just might as well glue that straight down now using my glue. I just use a normal standard PVA glue. I find that if you don't put it on too heavy, it goes pretty tacky pretty quickly, and of course it dries clear, so that doesn't cause me too many problems. So I just have a fiddle with sort of bending up my string a little bit and laying out the feathers approximately where I think I would like those to go. I've chosen not to back the cut file feathers with paper. I'm just going to leave those sort of see-through and sort of sticking up a little bit. They have a bit of their own shadow because they actually are not cut on plain white paper. They're cut on the back of a patterned paper scrap that just happened to be patterned on one side and white on the other. And it cut quite well in my machine, so it was a nice piece of paper to use. So I cut them on that, and actually in this case that worked really quite well because it kind of was a darker piece of paper on the back, and it just gave those feathers just a little bit of the lift that they needed to pick up off the page, which was really quite nice. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue in sort of 2 spots underneath where I want the threads to go, just so that they actually stay connected to the page. Once I put the feathers on, there was nothing that sort of held them in position otherwise, and I didn't really want them flip-flopping all over the page everywhere. Even though they would be inside a pocket, I didn't really want them flip-flopping all over the page, so I've just popped a little bit of glue on those. I put the 3 ephemera feathers up on foam tape, and I just glued the see-through feathers down in just a little dab of glue. There's not glue over the whole entire bit, just enough to secure a very small section of it to the page. Then I'm going to add those beautiful little flower cluster on top of the doily, and a little leaf as well, just to keep following in with that sort of grey tones that are coming out of the dream catcher. And again, with the heading, that really will help sort of tie in the darkness of the heading. So I'm going to put 1 photo above next to the dream catcher and 2 photos down below. I had originally been playing with this layout with just 1 single photo, and it really didn't work. I couldn't work that out, actually. I was looking and looking and looking at the layout, and I just couldn't understand why this was just not working. And eventually it occurred to me that it was because there wasn't enough happening on the page. The pages just had so much white space. I needed some more to sort of pull it in together. And then I had a look through the printed photos I had, and actually the colours of the car and my son's clothes in this photo just look so much nicer on this page. It just sort of tied it in a little bit better together. So I'm glad that I actually worked that out and went hunting for something different. So I backed the photos in white, and then in the exact same pattern paper that I used to mat this piece of paper with. I'm very much in the season of matting my photos at the moment. Not my photos. I always mat my photos. Matting my pages at the moment. That is definitely sort of a phase that I am in, to mat my entire page with a border. I really quite like it. I'm not very good at doing a doodly border by hand. So for me, and my sewing machine doesn't permanently live out in a space. I pack it up every time I use it, so sometimes I'm a bit too lazy to get it out. So for me, cutting a little border out of a piece of pattern paper is a really effective way to sort of lift a page, and I really quite like it. So just having a play now with where I want the little ephemera pieces to go. I fussy cut these butterflies from the beautiful pattern paper. Just wanted to fill that gap straight under the heading, so I thought the So Beautiful sentiment kind of worked on this page. I know the arrow's pointing away from the photographs, but the sentiment worked. He is so beautiful, and the layout is so beautiful, and the collection is so beautiful. I was quite happy to go with that sentiment. I also realised that in the top left of the actual photos, there's a man. You can't see a man. You can see the legs of someone with their groceries. And so I decided I'd have a bit of a play to see if I could cover that up on most of the photos. It's not a massive thing that draws your eye, but it's enough that it'd be nice to get rid of it. I don't take it away from all 3 photos in the end, but at least off the 2 would be good. So I just have a bit of a fiddle with the different ephemera, and the ones that I'm liking, I think I will stick down straight away. So I'm just popping that first little flower down straight onto the page, but I'm going to pop up the second flower and the little So Beautiful arrow, just so it's just so the So Beautiful is a bit more in line with the height of the text captured. So that is on there. Just a little bit of glue under the tail. I like the little cluster down the bottom, and so that's the photo that I don't end up hiding the man up in the top corner. It was just a bit tricky to hide that. It would have had too much going on. If I possibly could have thought about it and put the So Beautiful in a slightly different position, and then covered the man with the flowers, but I didn't, and it's totally fine. There's no drama there. I like that I have covered the man on the other 2 photos, though. I think that is a bit nicer. So I'm really happy with how this is starting to look. It's almost finished now, and I'm thinking it's come together quite nicely. I really like the dream catcher that I had sort of planned out in my head. Those 2, the 2 different exclusive cut files worked really, really well, and I was really happy with those. So for this last cluster, I know I need something else behind the butterfly, but I don't have a huge amount of ephemera left. So I end up just using another one of those little flowery tabs. They look nice because of the flower cluster there, and there's a few little flower clusters going on around the page. So adding that little floral piece looks quite nice. I'll also be doing, probably not on camera, but I'll also be doing 4 Project Life spreads with this collection. And they're going to be very plain. I can just tell with the amount I have left, because I have just used so much creating layouts. I have already created 5 layouts with my kit, and then I'll be doing 4 Project Life spreads as well, and I'll possibly even do 1 or 2 more layouts. I definitely have enough stuff. I just have to have a think what I can create. So just finishing it off with a few little enamel dots. I love enamel dots, so it's been quite easy to pop those onto my page. In fact, you almost need to hold me back from putting too many on my page. Then, you know me, a layout is not complete until it has been dipped with some gold color swap, Heidi Shine color swap, Heidi Swap color shine. And then I decide I only put it really, really lightly around the clusters, and I could have left it there, but I decided I'd add a little bit of coral as well, just to pick up the pinks in the page, because I really quite liked that. And then I just super, super, super lightly put out some black as well, which on a layout like this is a little bit game, I think. I definitely could have gone without, but I did do it just really light, just a few little drops, not too much happening. And then it's done. So I'm going to pull it up so you can have a bit of a closer look at the finished product. And yeah, I hope you have enjoyed watching the completion of this layout, and I will see you next time for my next design team layout. Thanks everyone. Bye.